Hello, good morning and good afternoon, everybody. Here we are again for our weekly AMA with Metis. I am Lya Glaentzlin. I will be your host today because our regular protagonists of the presentations are in Portugal participating in some conferences. So this time it will be on the rest of the team to present all the information. And I want to welcome our guest for today's speech. He is Harry Horsfall. He's going to be speaking to us about cryptocurrency marketing, which is a very interesting issue, and that we know many of our hackathon participants are very interested in understanding because of the high demand of DeFi apps and all the businesses that are being supported by this innovating technology. So without any further introductions, I want to invite Harry to start with his conversation with us.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me here. It's amazing to join your channel, and congrats to everyone who's taking part in the hackathon. I know it's such an exciting way to come up with your MVP, test something really quickly, and hopefully make something cool. I mean, we've seen so many projects come out of hackathons that have actually gone on to raise a lot of money and actually make some really cool use cases. I guess like a really quick intro to me is that I'm absolutely crypto mad. I've been in the space where I first bought Bitcoin in 2011 when I was at business school. And a few years later, I ran my first sort of Bitcoin meetup in 2013. And that's when I didn't know what it was before. That was my real penny drop moment. That was the moment I was like, wow, this is happening. Obviously, 2014, massive 90% drop. Anyone that's been in crypto for a while knows that pain as your $1,000 becomes $90. But yeah, I've been lucky to have been getting one of the first roles in crypto marketing back in sort of 2018 when I started working for Luno. At the time, it was very hard to get a job in marketing in crypto because essentially there was nothing to market. We just needed people to build and to build and to build. But essentially, that was an amazing journey as we went from like 1 to 8 million users, and Luno is one of the well-known apps now. So I guess as we move more into DeFi marketing, I run a marketing agency called Zebu, and what we really help projects with and specialize is really that sort of that early stage from when you go from an idea to building your first core steps. I guess to talk it through it. What is marketing essentially? In when we're looking at other tech products, we've looked at a lot of growth and a lot of pay to play. Obviously, the interesting thing and the challenging thing about crypto is that we can't pay to play unless you are Coinbase, you're whitelisted, you're in America. It's very hard for you just to turn on Google ads, Facebook ads, Twitter ads, etc. So a lot of the crypto marketing has all been formed around communities, and essentially there's a few different channels. One of the core things of when you've got your idea is how are you going to build your community? Are you going to be a Discord community? Are you going to be a Telegram community? Are you going to be a Twitter community? Essentially, that getting that community is such a key part, and there's obviously like different levers that you can play. There's competitions, there's working with people within an ecosystem who have a lot of respect. We see that a lot on ETH, see that a lot on Solana. There's a lot of people that have that influence that can help boost your project. So that's obviously one of the start. Long form content. If we think about your messaging, we love to think of it like an iceberg. At the top you need to have your 3 lines. This is what I'm doing. Oh, no lights. The
like
Google
your
of
catchphrase.
this. Yeah, your catchphrase. How can you shill this in a pub? how can you get people really, really excited? Like, you know, there's a project that we're working with. It's called Finance.vote, and it's a really awesome project, and it's very, very complex. It's lots of quadratic voting. It's DAOs. It's this. It's this. And, you know, what we've really helped them, and what they've really come up with is the Google Suite for DAOs. And you know that straight away tells you, right, I'm setting up a DAO. I've already got my bank.vote feature. I've got this feature, and that Google Suite for DAOs is the perfect top of the iceberg. And I think a lot of the times when you know you're an entrepreneur, you're an inventor, you're a cryptographer, whatever your role is, and you come up with this amazing idea, and you're so deep down in it, you forget that other people just need to go, got it. I got it. That's kind of what we're creating. You know, with TotemFi, we were stake, predict, grow. There is very, very clear. You know, you can stake with us, you can predict, and then you can grow your earnings. Obviously, below that, we're a non-punitive prediction market, and there's a lot of really cool stuff we're doing below the surface that if people want to read, they can read. And I think that definitely helps to spread the word. Obviously, you know, like getting in the press, working with the press, finding an interesting angle, news hacking. You know, like we saw today or yesterday, you know, Facebook were hiring 10,000 people for the metaverse, for their metaverse. Hopefully, I hope someone in crypto can build it faster than Facebook, because we don't want Facebook owning our metaverse. But you know, that if you are, let's say one of your projects on your hackathon was a metaverse project, how can you twist that story and you know, get some hype around that story? You know, is it reaching out to a journalist, etc.? You know, yeah, long form content. Medium is a brilliant way to look quite legit, you know, as opposed to just a blog on your site. You know, making your Medium really, you know, if you got someone on Medium, there's a much longer read time than someone on Twitter. You know, we all mindlessly scroll crypto Twitter, and we're like, but we're not really like diving deep into information there. So if you get someone onto Medium, there's a higher chance they're going to spend longer time reading your hard thought. You can put it reading your diagrams, etc. So that's a really great channel that we see. Obviously, Discord is really hot at the moment in the sense that it lets you bring your community to a closed space with a little bit more room to maneuver. One of the things that, you know, a tip or a trick that I think works really well is to put gated communities on within your community. So your highest users or your earliest users, you can airdrop them an NFT, or you can give them a token, or if you're I don't know what stage your token's up, that can allow people to join a gated community. And, you know, I guess marketing feeds back into editing as well. So once you've got these communities, it's like they're not just there for like, oh, we got a community. It's there to feed back into your product. Do you like this feature? Are you going to use this feature? You know, one of the things we've done really well with TotemFi is we've got sort of a big beta testing community. They rip us apart. It's quite it can be quite painful, as we spent sort of 3 weeks designing, making, and then we show it to them and they're like, don't understand it, this doesn't work. But that really helps with the product marketing and making sure that the UX UI kind of flow. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot to think about. I think sometimes when you're a small project, doing too much is not always the best solution. You know, sometimes it's worth like thinking, who are our target audience? Where are they hanging out? What is the best channel to connect with them? So like if you're into the NFT space, probably a Discord is a better place to invest your limited resource, which is time. I don't know what funding stage you're at, but your time into just getting that Discord to being really, really good. Or you could be like, right, we're really into Telegram. This is the channel we know. Love the stickers. Making stickers is always fun. Everyone loves some fun Telegram stickers. And yeah, you know, I think, you know, build as we get further along, like finding other people that are doing a similar thing and leveraging their communities is always a brilliant way. You know, like fundamentally, we're not taking market share away from each other yet. We're still such a tiny speck in the whole sort of ecosystem of the world that actually partnering with other people and using their tech or using their community to like collab with your community is a brilliant way when you're really small to grow quickly. You know, you can identify like the right sort of community for you, and you're like, oh, this is a perfect fit. For example, we've partnered with a company called Hypersign. They're amazing at this, we're amazing at that, and it's actually really beneficial for us to click together. I know another project that was called Lunabet, making a pooling system, and Joe, what was the name of who they partnered with? So they partnered with Sportex. They thought maybe they were competing, but actually when they spoke to Sportex, they realized that Sportex were actually just trying to get much more users on their L1 or L2, and essentially they partnered. And so that's a brilliant way to get a pre-existing brand. I think for those of us that have been around for a while, you know, we kind of ban just partnership announcements in our agency. It sounds lazy. It sounds 2017. We like to call them integrations, and we like to know what they're actually going to do. You know, the days of like, we're using AWS, we partnered with Amazon, 100% pumps, I've kind of finished. You know, like the tech is starting to work, and we want to actually kind of understand how people are going to integrate. So yeah, I mean, that's a whistle stop tour. There's I think the key thing is that like we're really lucky that we're in such an exciting, fast moving space that there's no right way to do it right now. There's obviously certain hacks that definitely work, but making sure that you understand what resources you have, what time, what skill set, who you know, and sort of piecing together it for your particular project is a really key goal.
Great. That's very good to hear your suggestion of keeping an eye on potential competitors that could become great partners, because you know there's a lot of work to be done when you finally get your MVP and your funding. Is just when the hard work really starts, because then you have, as you say, then you have to deal with the requirements of your community and with being alert of what's going on in the space, so you don't get left behind with your model or your solutions. So it's very refreshing, and I thank you very much for giving us this very wise advice. In the true spirit of blockchain, we have to keep an eye out for collaboration possibilities, because that's what makes projects successful.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, there's certain aspects. We've seen certain projects that have like no logo, and then we have, you know, more and more we're seeing a lot more brand and UX coming into the projects, which also feeds into the sort of the marketing look and feel. You know, that I really know that is a Uniswap product. If you can feel it, you can see it across all their channels, and I think finding that if you have that skill set in the team, it definitely helps. But at the same time, it's not 100% necessary for some projects. Which is super interesting. And how are you picking the winners? What are the criterias, and what do the winners win of the hackathon?
Well, we have a long list of prizes. Some are sponsored prizes. Some others are the main tracks that we have. And we have one track for each major use case. So in those, you can also include like ingredients of the sustainability options. And that way we're trying to make sure that there's a place for everybody. And as we have said before, when in doubt in whether track you should be participants should be applying, we are open to early submissions and questions as to guide them to be part of this in the most productive and successful way. I just saw that we have a question from the audience for you.
Yep.
I don't know if you will be able to respond it now, or maybe you want to tell us something else.
Yeah. So what are the key factors of dog tokens? I think dog tokens have been like quite an interesting, and I mean they are marketing plays, aren't they? A lot of the utility from from the dog tokens is still yet to really be sort of explored. You know, I think that if we're talking about the key marketing success, it has to be TikTok for Dogecoin. You know, they really jumped onto that audience of let's send Dogecoin to $1. You know, and we saw, you know, I can't, you know, Dogecoin I think went to like what 70 cents or something crazy. And that was because, you know, TikTok is one of the most viewed social platforms, and we had these Gen Xers sort of all sending it viral on TikTok. Let's send Doge to $1, and it created a crazy sort of marketing hype around it that obviously pushed it all on. But yeah.
Well, there always seems to be a very delicate balance to keep between your marketing and your message and the tech behind it, because it's a delicate balance, and you need to pay a lot of attention on both. If I may,
so you need like ideally you're marketing strong tech, because then once you get these users, there's a lot of things for them to do, and there's a lot of value there, you know, like so. But yeah, I think TikTok is one of those interesting. It's not a channel that I'm amazing at personally, but definitely one that we do use.
I have a question about demographics. Have you noted some preeminence in people participating in different markets when coming from different areas of the world? Like, are there those who prefer NFT products and those others that are more interested in DeFi or something?
Yeah, so I think like it's a really good question. That we're seeing definitely a wide, you know, before we used to say crypto, now we're saying DeFi, now we're saying GameFi, TradeFi, you know, NFTs. I think the demographic that we're seeing in NFTs is like an amazingly new crowd. You know, the sort of OpenSea sort of user experience is much more like using eBay or Amazon as opposed to using Binance or Uniswap. You know, lots of charts and, you know, placing your bid orders, your stop losses, etc., as opposed to like click and buy NFTs. And I also think, you know, we're seeing a whole new wave of people, of creators going, aha, I can use my IP, I can use my content to create here. And I think as a result, we're seeing a whole new different landscape. You know, like, you know, sort of you know, some people are doing real world assets and putting them on DeFi. And yeah, it's exciting. You know, as we move into this Web 3.0 space, basically, I think we'll see more and more people shift here, not even know that in the back end there is, you know, this DeFi space happening behind it, and the tech happening behind it. They'll just get nice front end experiences.
And thank you for that. And another question I have always had. What do you make out of using avatars? So many made images and not that many faces behind the projects. Do you have any comments about it?
So yeah, I mean, like obviously Satoshi Nakamoto was you know, he had to be anonymous to create Bitcoin, so we could all get to where we are. You know, if he was known, I think it would have been shut down. So I think, you know, the anonymity of crypto comes with the journey of crypto. I think it depends on your project. Like some projects love to be anonymous. You know, some of the NFT narrative is like we're the wizard of creator and it's part of the story. Some other projects are quite serious and they like to be fully doxed. And you use their brand identity as a sort of a trust. I think the amazing thing about crypto is there's no rule book. It's like what is best for your project, what is best for your audience, what you know, fundamentally when we are marketing in crypto, we are trying to build trust that we're gonna deliver on our roadmap, trust that when you go into our IDO or our mint, or you know, whatever way you're putting across your project, you're not just going to do a rug pull and go, all right guys, we got the funds. Building a community and building a project's hard work. So if you can do that with, you know, the great thing about sort of decentralized and the open source code is, you know, it people can verify that you are doing that. So I don't think there's any right answer. I think it's quite fun. I think a lot of the NFT flexing that we're going on is crazy. Obviously the Punk 666, which he was so attached to his identity that he would turn down the 2,500 ETH. You know, that's amazing. That's nearly $10 million for his punk, but he was so attached to it as a brand, he wasn't going to accept the money. So like, fair play to him. I've got a lot of respect for
that. Great. And another question. I find that peer reviews and gaining the respect of the developers community is also a big issue when starting into this market. Do you have any suggestions for new projects that are looking forward to get this kind of serious reviews on their performance?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Okay, I'm trying to figure out if I am a startup and I want to get peer reviews, like the opinion from someone else that's already respected in the space. How can I get there without sounding like I'm begging for golden stars?
Yeah. So I mean, like, I guess once you're further down the line, you know, auditors play like a massive part in your smart contract. You know, it really helps you to you know, verify to your community that your contract is safe. When you're in that early stage, I guess you just got to hustle, try and find either someone in your community that really believes in your project. You know, go to a meetup. You know, actually, people in crypto, although everyone is so slammed, and you know, I mean, you must know what it's like, back to back. People are willing to have a look at your code, or you know, you have the option of, like, if you need an advisor, you can look to cut them in some of your team allocation, or you know, if you say like further down the line, I will give you some of this project as an advisor, or if you help this, there'll be some milestone payments. That's a great way, because then they're incentivized. It's quite an expensive way, because you're giving away your project at an early stage, but it really helps you to get that support, which you'd much rather have than not have anything.
Great, good point.
I hope that answers your question.
Yes, of course. And it brings me another question. How do you feel about LinkedIn for connecting with projects or people in the space? Because I have heard that it's kind of perceived as more used by people from older generations than those that are participating in the cryptocurrency economy, but I wanted to hear your opinion.
I quite like LinkedIn. I think it's quite a trusted platform. So, you know, like we spend a lot of time on Telegram. Sometimes I'm bombarded by like box mining seems to message me 22 times a day. It's obviously not box mining, you know, like or like an exchange listing. I'm always messaged like, oh, do you want to list on this exchange? Do you want to list on this exchange? I'm like, oh yeah, I would actually. And if they don't, sometimes the LinkedIn helps verify, you know, because everyone just changes their Telegram handle with like a few letters or whatever. And you know, it's quite awkward when new team members start. Often I message them being like, oh, can you just send me some funds? And they're like, Harry, you asked me to send me funds. I was like, was I? But you know, so there's a lot of impersonation on Telegram that can be quite stressful. Again, like I think whatever social platform works for you, LinkedIn actually has like a less you know, it's obviously slightly older audience, but it is a viral audience as well. Like it's easier to go viral on LinkedIn than it is on another platform. But yeah, I think whichever works for you. I'm pretty much like I am on crypto. I'm pretty agnostic on platform. Whichever works, whichever's easiest, whichever has the best, I'm willing to sort of move to. And yeah, I'm sort of the opposite of a maximalist. Minimum. I don't know. I don't know what the word is for that. But yeah. So you know, I mean, I think sometimes, you know, like really busy people don't like LinkedIn. It's just full of lots of salespeople bombarding each other. But yeah, if you know what you want from it, any platform's great. You just got to also know its limitations. But yeah.
Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Hopefully answered some of your questions.
Absolutely. I'm going to rewatch this recording just to take good notes on it. And that issue you mentioned about impersonation, it's very important. Everybody within their projects must be really aware that impersonations are an everyday problem, and teams and community managers need to keep letting the community know when competitions or projects are being open, and that way the community can know where to go for trusted information about the projects. Well, so this was an exciting half an hour. Thank you so much for all these insights, and
awesome.
we hope that our participants will also be able to take note of all your suggestions, awesome. and be able to succeed in this hackathon and with the future of their projects. I'm sorry, I think we have another question. So if you have like 2 more minutes.
Yeah. One. Hi, David. It seems people have a false misrepresentation on how much funds it takes for building and marketing a project. Could you give a general opinion on the correlation between marketing, development, and budget? Does it require a vast amount of funds, or just a good project with good devs, or a mix, or just? So I think that comes down to your skill set. You know, if you're a really good dev, so like I guess when I set up my project, like my skill set's really in marketing, and so we didn't have to spend as much on marketing as we did on development. You know, some of the best marketing campaigns cost nothing. It's the time to think up. You know, like a non-negotiable is like a Discord manager, $500. That's relatively cheap. You know, we've all been in communities that are unmoderated. The more money you have, the quicker and bigger you can go, but it's also the more that you can just blow on something that doesn't work. We always say in marketing, 50% of marketing spend is wasted. You just got to know which 50% that is, and that's the art. Is sort of, you know, that testing really quickly. Is this channel working? are we getting retention here? Are we acquiring users? Are we driving traffic to our site? And if that's, for some people that could be, press releases, Discord, influencers. Influencers are obviously a massive push of the early stages of projects, but you can get a really big influencer, spend $50,000 on them, and maybe that doesn't work.
I'm not hearing Harry anymore.
Awesome. Am I still here? Can you disconnect your phone? I think it's meant. Can you still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Well, awesome. Hopefully it's been really interesting. Look forward to seeing everyone at DeFi Live. And I believe some of the Metis team are representing. If anyone wants to ask any follow-up questions, I'm obviously on Twitter. And yeah, good luck with building all of your projects. It's a really exciting stage. Keep going. There's lots of life cycles in a project, and you got to make sure you get out of those troughs and just keep pushing through, because it will be worth it in the end. Cheers.
Thank you. Oh, you're on mute, Lya.
I lost connection. I'm so sorry. I hope
Harry has answered all the questions. And
yes. So now I would like to move on to our workshop that was scheduled for today, which I'm sure will be very helpful for everybody. So, as I said, today we have our team members participating in many conferences going on in Portugal, and one of them will be delivering for us a workshop. It is Pavel Sinelnikov. I know you all know him and have been enjoying all the information he has for us. So now we have a pre-recorded workshop about how to port your dApps into Metis, and I will like to share with you all the pre-recorded workshop.
Hi everyone, welcome to the guide to use the Polis application and how you can use it to manage your smart contracts as well as user authentication. In this tutorial, you need to have Node, Yarn, and Hardhat. First, we want to create an account on Polis. When you create an account, you will be provided with 0.1 test Metis tokens for development purposes. If you'd like to get more tokens, navigate to testswap.metis.io/faucet. In order to use the development section of Polis, you have to click the button requesting for registration. We will clone the repository and deploy this smart contract. In this project, we have 3 folders: the client, contract, and server. We want to navigate to the contract folder to the example.env file. We have 2 environment variables: the Metis deployment URL and the private key. To get the most updated version of the deployment URL, navigate to docs.metis.io/connection details. For the private key, when you created your Metis account, a non-custodial wallet was automatically created. In order to access your Polis private key, navigate to Profile Settings. Click Export Private Key and copy the value. Navigate back to the editor and paste your private key. Once you are finished filling in the variables, make sure to change the name from example.env to .env. Open up a terminal and type yarn install. Next, type in yarn Metis. This command should compile and deploy your contract to the Metis mainnet. Once deployed, navigate to the Polis dashboard. where we will add your contracts to be managed by Polis. Notice how our balance has changed after we deployed our contract. To add our application to Polis, we'll be using both the Create Domain section and the Application Management section. Note that in order to use these options, your account has to have developer status as active. Navigate to Create a Domain and click on Create New Domain. Add in your domain name. This name is unique, and in my case, my domain name is testing. Now we need to add in the ABI. The ABI is generated when we compile the smart contract. Navigate back to our editor. Go to the contract folder and look at deployments/metis/cryptodevs.json. You can see the contract address and the ABI. Copy the ABI and navigate back to Polis. Paste your ABI into the ABI section. Next, we want to add the contract address. Let's navigate back to our editor. You can scroll up to find the contract address, but you can also copy the address from the terminal. Navigating back to Polis, we can set the chain ID and input the contract address to finally create the domain. Now, our smart contract is managed by Polis. Let's create our authentication for our application for the Polis frontend. Navigate to Application Management and click Create New App. Fill in all of your details for the application. Since we'll be using a local development environment for this application, we will type in localhost.localdomain:3000. If you'd like to know more about configuring your host file, see docs.metis.io. You should now have created your application and now are ready to start populating this information into the application. Navigate back to your text editor. Navigate to the client/example.env. Fill in the app ID. Next, fill in the contract name. In my case, it is the domain name of testing. Next, enter the chain ID that your contract is deployed on. In this case, the contract is deployed on chain 435. Once you are finished filling in the variables, make sure to change the name from example.env to .env. Next, navigate to server/example.env. Fill in the app ID and the app secret. Finally, rename the example.env to .env. The architecture of this application ensures that the secrets are secret. Now we are ready to launch this application. In a terminal located within the same project directory, type yarn server. In a separate terminal within the same project directory, type yarn client. This should load and open your ready application. We see this is our ERC 721 creation application. You should see a login button. Click that. You'll be asked for approval for this application to access your information and request to make transactions. Accept the request and you should be redirected back into your application with your populated credentials. Next, click on the Create NFT button. Enter the information for the NFT. In my case, it'll be a space-themed NFT. I've already found an image. If you copy the image link, you can paste it in the image URL section. Click Submit, and you should see a dialog that pops up to accept the creation of the NFT. If we click Accept, we can see that our NFT was created. We can click the View button to view our NFT. Congratulations, you have just deployed your first Polis application. This application has some limitations. If you refresh the application, you will lose the access token that you have received when you approved your access to the site. This is fixed by implementing a cookie service. The contract has a limit of 10 NFTs that can be created. You can adjust this limit in the contract/deploy/ERC721.deploy.js file. You have to be logged into the application in order to make requests or view your NFTs. Thank you for following along with this tutorial. See you in the next one. Metis is holding a hackathon from October 2nd to 30th with a prize pool of over 1 million USD in Metis tokens, with tasks that range from building a new dApp to porting an existing dApp to the Metis Layer 2. So what are you waiting for? Come register today.
Okay, so I hope you all enjoyed this easy way for porting your dApps into our platform. And we will like you all to stay tuned in our channels because we have much more news to announce. In fact, let me share my screen, because we are so excited to let you know that we keep getting applicants from everywhere in the world. And in addition, we are launching this new contest. It's a Reddit challenge, and you are invited to make an engaging Reddit post tagging Metis, of course. Copy the Reddit post link, make a tweet on Twitter with hashtag Metis Hackathon, and share it with your friends. Fill and submit Google Forms with this information, and you will be participating in this new contest that we are launching. Of course, we want to encourage everybody to submit their projects into our Dev Post Hackathon page. Take note of the QR code here. And also, we wanted to share with you that some early submissions have been received already. So if you want to take advantage of our policy of allowing you to make corrections or enhancements into your project until the last day, please do so. And as soon as you feel that your MVP is ready for submission, send it, because you will benefit from early comments from our tech revision team. And we have found that some of the current early submissions have really good ideas, but could use some tech improvements, or are in some cases missing one of the requirements in order to qualify to participate for the prizes they are looking after. So please do early submissions and take advantage of our tech team and our wonderful community manager, David, who is on Discord ready to work with you. And let me just a second. David is sharing his screen, so I will stop share so you can see him. David,
hello,
you're
everyone.
welcome to unmute yourself and say hello. So this is David, and he has been doing a wonderful work with our Discord communities, transmitting all the information and answering the questions from our participants. So again, please get into the Discord channel if you haven't, and start preparing your submissions or make all the questions that you have. So again, for those who are joining late, this is information about our hackathon. Feel free to scan the QR code for getting all the information. We have a lot of prizes and a lot of interesting tracks to participate with. As always, please check that you are part of our official Telegram group, where you can find all the information provided directly from our community managers. So that way, you know, you are updated and you get to benefit from any news that are being shared there. And remember that hackathon communications are to be conducted through our hackathonmetis.io and our Discord channel. So you can scan the QR codes from here and it will be easier for you. And this was our wonderful guest speaker, Harry Horsfall. I'm sure you all enjoyed his suggestions as much as I did. And we are ready to take questions if there are any from the audience in connection with our hackathon or any other issues that we could be facing with the submissions.
Okay, I saw pretty a lot questions here. So yeah, I will take the first one. It's regarding our scalability that we propose. So yeah, a little more detail. I think we're scaling Ethereum in multi ways. First, it's not like you know, Optimism or Arbitrum, they only have one watch machine. We start from multi-watch machines. So you don't have to worry about the single point failure issues. And multi-chains means you can run business on different chains. So it can greatly expand your scalability. And you also don't have worry about the transaction speed. Meantime, we also hope to deal with what Arbitrum and Solana has experienced. You know, the network turned down. So we add peer nodes, which will do the load balancing among different nodes. So it will scale and make the network more robust. And also in the Polis, actually is another way for us to scale, because in Polis, it's naturally support multi-chains. You can choose different network and to do the transactions when we launch this function. So actually, we are scaling Ethereum, as I said, in multi ways, and it's burned in our blood, I think.
I see another question here about what functionalities our DACs will have and if those will be possible to modify. Well, we are starting with the basic and indispensable functionalities that we envision for the DACs, which are adding participants, creating roles for those participants, which will allow you to restrict what kind of information they can see or they can share. We will have the ability to create tasks and accept candidates to develop those tasks and to get the proper compensation for work well done. Then you also have this reputational system that is so important for our ecosystem, where the people that has commanded or requested for tasks or services to be provided will be awarded approval for very good services, or in case those were not that good, it also will show in their reputation as participants of the DAC. So that's very important for us and for the health of the ecosystem. We are also planning to allow you to keep files within your DAC. And as we grow and evolve, we will be adding more functionalities. So yes, you will be able to modify and you will be able to grow with together with us in taking advantage of the new functionalities as we add them.
Yes, correct. And another question about how can we develop on Metis style using tools. So if you are a developer, I highly recommend you to use our Polis middleware, where you can find different functions, and of course we will add more functions on it. In there you can manage your smart contract, and in the near future there will be smart contract templates which you can call the API to use. So Polis is the place for you to use all these templates and tools. So yeah, Polis is a place that you should go to.
I see another question about NFT market, and the user is asking if we are going to expand to NFT market. Well, in fact, NFTs are fully supported by our technology, and whether the users create marketplaces or different dApps benefiting from NFTs as the carrier of data, information, images, music, or actual legal documents, that will depend of each project. But yes, we fully support NFTs as long as those are built with EVM compatible technology.
Yeah. Another question regarding the bridge. I understand a lot of people have different, Metis on various chains. So he's asking if there are other bridges can transfer funds to Metis layer 2. So when we launch our upcoming network, the bridge will be Ethereum layer 1 to Metis layer 2. But at the same time, we're working with other bridge providers to enable more, bridges can be can make the transactions among different chains. So in the future, you will have all these kind of bridges.
Well, there's a question about security, and yes, we are having regular audits, and every new feature that we incorporate to our platform gets fully audited and approved before being sent live. And with regard to Ethereum developers, yes, we try to be part of as many Ethereum developers communities. I personally take care of participating in the ones in Latin America, and we are still in a constant search for more of these communities so we can share knowledge, learn from them, and let them know what are the benefits of porting or developing on our layer 2 platform. I see here another question, and this user is concerned about products getting abandoned and leaving people with a lost investment. And he's asking if we have a structure to make sure that projects are sustainable. Well, we do have the requirement of staking in order to create a DAC. So you assume that people that is willing to stake and support the operation of a DAC are meaning serious businesses, but the health of the ecosystem again will be preserved by as many interactions as we are able to have, and the relationships among the participants from each DAC. So we do as much as it is possible, and then there's up to good products to succeed understanding the market, hopefully taking on account all the recommendations from our speaker from today.
I think we are running out of time, but I saw a question about the upcoming staking. He's asking how to find people who want to join his DAC. I think, when we launch this DAC staking and mining, you will be able to create your own DAC, and also you will have a linkage invitation linkage, which you can share in the group or in other different channels, so people can use that linkage to join your DAC.
And well, we are running out of time, but we want to thank you all for your questions, for your participation. We want to invite you to keep checking our Telegram and Discord channels so you are updated with everything that we keep incorporating to our projects. And you are all invited to participate in the hackathon, and in case of doubt, just ask your questions that our community managers will be there to help you solve it. So thank you very much, and see you next week.